1919 was an auspicious year in history. The First World War ended, ushering a drastic change in the world order. The Philippine Islands had been a U.S. territory for 2 decades and was promised independence under the Jones Law of 1916. Progressive reformers saw the country and its people as a major target for modernization, and education was its main weapon. 7 forward-looking Filipinas came together in 1919 to create a school where young women could gain the knowledge and skills that would make them modern women. Paz Marquez Benitez was the first president of the Philippine Women's College. Jose Abad Santos was its first chairman of the Board of Trustees. Francisca Tirona Benitez was the second president, and with her husband Dean Conrado, guided the school from a house on A. Flores Street to its iconic Taft Avenue campus. In 1932, the college became a university, making PWU the first university for women in Asia founded by Asians. It provided a space where innovations in education flourished, and young people were encouraged to be the best that they could be. For over 100 years, the Philippine Women's University has been known as a leader in quality education. In 1934, PWU moved into its main campus on Taft Avenue, and since the 1970s has been co-educational. Located in the heart of Metro Manila, it is easily accessible by public transport and surrounded by affordable housing. Today's PWU offers undergraduate and graduate courses in several fields of study. Its business and management programs are responsive to the needs of industry, using evolving technology for global competence. PWU graduates excel in arts and sciences, education, social work, and diplomacy. Its fine arts and music programs have produced outstanding graduates through a holistic education that treasures heritage as well as excellence. PWU has pioneered in fields such as food science, nutrition and dietetics, medical technology, pharmacy, and nursing. PWU continues to play an essential role in producing graduates who possess the skills that make them competitive in the country and anywhere in the world.
Sa simoy at sa langit mong bukaw, may dilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidigdig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta mo'y langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya
Some days we forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves, we take when we should give. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Look beyond ourselves, there's so much sorrow. It's way too late to say I'll cry tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. It's so long overdue. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and every day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there is a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's light. There's so much to be thankful for. There's so much to be thankful for. much to be thankful for.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mark Harvey Adamson, your Master of Ceremonies. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 2022 President's Convocation. To formally begin today's proceedings, we present to you the processional of the university officials. Dr. Nini Lim, Officer in Charge, Medical Services and Diagnostic Center. Mr. Michael George Ventanilla, Head, Information Communication Technology. Mr. Nelson Guillen Jr., Manager, Marketing and Admissions. Ms. Cristina Gracia Meron, Head, Guidance and Testing Office. Ms. Purita Uson, Acting University Librarian. Mr. Fernan Glemao, University Registrar. Mrs. Mariel Benitez Havellana, Manager, Student Wellness and Services. Ms. Ruth Peñano, Director, Alumni Relations and Development Office. Dr. Lina Laigo, Director, Institute of Family Life and Children's Studies. Mr. Horacio Gutierrez Jr., Director, Career and Placement Office and Coordinator, ETL. Ms. Pia Angela Labrador, Deputy Director, Institutional Development. Dr. Nancy Felipe, Director, Career Development and Continuing Education Center. Ms. Cheryl Lai Zantua, Director, Human Resource Management Office. Ms. Lorelisa Katwiran, Acting Principal, JASAMS Quezon City. Mr. Norman Ramirez, Assistant Principal, JASAMS Quezon City. Mr. Noli Rodriguez, Assistant Principal, JASAMS High School, Manila. Ms. Regina de la Cruz, Principal, JASAMS High School, Manila. Ms. Remedios Cruz, Executive Director, Basic Education. Dr. Emerita Zornosa, Director, Graduate School. Dr. Menchita Dumlao, Program Chair, School of Arts and Sciences, Information Technology, and Head of Technology Integration Team. Ms. Victoria Segovia, Program Chair, School of Arts and Sciences, Environmental Science. Dr. Melissa Alcazaren, Program Chair, School of Arts and Sciences, Psychology. Mr. Mark Harvey Adamson, Program Chair, School of Pharmacy. Dr. Maria Ligaya Braganza, Program Chair, School of Food Science and Technology. Ms. Vanessa Ceballos Marasigan, Program Chair, School of Nutrition. Mr. Sherwin Toriano, Program Chair, School of Medical Technology. Ms. Evelyn Valencia, Program Chair, Philippine School of Social Work. Dr. Leo Munalin, Dean, School of Arts and Sciences and Director, Research and Development Office. Dr. Antonio Yu, Dean, Conrado Benitez Institute for Business Education. Dr. Shirley Padua, Dean, School of Education and Head of Learning Delivery Team. Miss Josephine Turalba, Dean, School of Fine Arts and Design. Dr. Eframuel Jose Abellana, Dean, School of Hospitality Management and School of Tourism. Ambassador Rosario Manalo, Dean, Helena Z. Benitez School of International Relations and Diplomacy. Dr. Earl Clarence Jimenez, Dean, School of Music. Dr. Minerva De Ala, Dean, School of Nursing. Dr. Susie Moya Benitez, Associate Vice President for Campus Life. Miss Ana Maria Del Rosario, Vice President for Finance. Mr. Alfredo Jose Reyes, Vice President for External Affairs. Miss Maria Luisa Mirasol, Vice President for Administration. Dr. Felina Yang, Chancellor and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Eugenio Abunda Jr., Member, Board of Trustees. Dr. Patricia Araneta, Member, Board of Trustees. Miss Lydia Francisca Brown, Member, Board of Trustees. Brother Armin Luistro, Member, Board of Trustees. Dr. Carmelita Quebenco, Member, Board of Trustees. Mr. John Philip Sevilla, Member, Board of Trustees. Mr. Jose Valencia, Member, Board of Trustees. Mrs. Victorina Amalingan Sales, Chairperson of PWU Board of Trustees. And Mr. Marco Alfredo M. Benitez, President of Philippine Women's University. To give today's opening remarks, let us all welcome our Chancellor and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Full Professor Dr. Felina C. Yang.
President Marco Alfredo Moya Benitez, our hardworking administrators, faculty, and non-teaching personnel, dear students and guests, a pleasant good afternoon. The leadership, accomplishments, opportunities, and resources that define PWU in the past have changed drastically since the last 2 years. Like a mathematical equation that needed a simple solution to an otherwise plain linear equation, the pandemic challenges did alter the workings of our logical and confident minds in the university. The crisis-ridden reality triggered an adrenaline rush in all of us. It hastened our heartbeat and caused a surge in our energy levels that the entire PWU community went to brass work, starting from top management to middle management and to everyone in the university. We did change our delivery of instruction from face-to-face to adopting a new teaching modality. We did altered our work schedules from daily physical reporting to working from home. We did firm up our technology capability to wider and broader reach, and we did reduce our tuition and miscellaneous fees. In addition, we did purchase some equipment, and we continued and still are continuing to renovate our facilities. We consistently conducted professional webinars and informal sharing, And through these communal activities, more importantly, we did help safeguard the psychological well being of our university partners. Since emphasis was on technology, the university adopted a systems approach through digital integration in our delivery of instruction, as well as in the provision of rendering student, library, and guidance services. Our human resource, financial, and operations transactions, monitoring, and management were likewise essentially virtual. Thus, we aggressively and regularly pursued digital training, and even more training. On a noteworthy observation, we eventually began to create and nurture a research culture. We confidently pursued accreditation in our graduate, tertiary, and basic education programs. We did made it in all of those stressful but rewarding and satisfying moments of creativity and beating deadlines, the latest of which are our recent successes in the JASAMS Manila and Quezon City. Congratulations to our basic education programs. And lastly, our health and safety protocols were and today are all in place. All these and many more intangible choices were big, hairy, audacious courses of actions. In all our earnest efforts, and foremost in our minds was the commitment to provide the best services possible to all our stakeholders while deliberately maintaining quality and academic excellence. But that was not enough. We adopted a paradigm of continuous improvement. We needed to survive, and we knew that pursuing quality assurance in all our minute and significant decisions and undertakings would ensure the university's continuity. As I often emphasize, there is no room for mediocrity. Thus, we periodically communicated with our students and their parents. We explained and answered all their queries and doubts. We adequately dealt with their restlessness and uncertainties. Particularly worth mentioning are our graduate students. Our dedicated administrators and hard-working personnel continued and still continue to offer them their best administrative and support services. But we even then move up a step further and took care of our non-teaching personnel. Under a cloak of understanding and care, we tried to keep the non-academic community afloat. Among others, we provided bonuses for 2 straight years. If that is not familial concern and appreciation, I cannot find better words to describe them. All of this is now history. In all these challenges, we never gave up. We continued, and successfully we did prevail. And so today, the challenge then is, how do we continue from here? Where do we want to go? How will we deal with this so called new normal? Uncertain, wobbly, untested, tentative? As I continue to use words to describe our dynamic and volatile actuality. Hence, we are now holding our President's Convocation. Let us listen to our dedicated President. We are all here delighted to hear further from him the other small and big challenges we encountered in our journey, the small and big accomplishments we achieved along the way, the small and big successes that give us the greatest affirmation that we are, in fact, doing right, and more than that, the small and big dreams we aim to realize and be proud in the coming days and years. Therefore, it is with a grateful heart to you and everyone in our PWU community that I present to you our hardworking leader, President Marcos Alfredo Moya Benitez. Thank you and a pleasant good afternoon to all.
Thank you, Dr. Young. Before we continue with the main part of our program, the PWU School of Music Ensemble will grace us with a performance entitled Sayang Kinabalo. And that was a wonderful performance by the School of Music Ensemble headed by Dean Dr. Earl Clarence Jimenez. The PWU School of Music was granted by the Commission on Higher Education a Center for Excellence.
Realistically, we foresee that flexible learning will continue through to the end of 2021, with some programs gradually being allowed to resume limited face-to-face classes for specific laboratory and skills-based courses, as well as practicum subjects. The digital transformation that was started several years ago and accelerated by COVID-19 will be further strengthened through our partnerships in the areas of enterprise resource planning, learning management platforms, cybersecurity, and other digital educational resource providers. To provide Filipinos with an education that would prepare them for a life of continuous learning, directed towards the holistic development of character in preparation for career and professional competence, but with a firm grasp of family values and oriented towards a life of leadership and community participation. That is the commitment that we affirm and that we strive to pass on to our students, the next generation. And working together, that is the commitment that will allow us to build back better, even in the face of this once-in-a-lifetime pandemic.
And now, to introduce the 10th President of the Philippine Women's University, please welcome Ms. Elizabeth Ann Gutierrez, Associate Professor from the School of Arts and Sciences.
Good afternoon, fellow patriots. It is my honor to be here and welcome everyone. For those of you, Mr. Marco Alfredo Moya Benitez was installed as the 10th President of the Philippine Women's University last February 22, year 2020. Mr. Benitez earned his Bachelor of Science in Management Engineering at the Ateneo de Manila University and his Master's in Business Administration at the Ateneo Graduate School of Business. He was a team member of the basketball team of Ateneo. He was a high school valedictorian. With his remarkable flair for communication, he had been a sportscaster or sports analyst for ABS-CBN Sports from 2009 to 2020, 11 years. Informally, he was labeled as the pandemic president. He does not allow the disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic to get in the way of his clear pathways for this century-old university. His vigor and heart for education was eminent and robust, truly combating all the challenges of our trying times. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine Women's University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo Moya Benitez.
School year 2021-2022 started with the NCR placed under enhanced community quarantine beginning August 6, 2021 because of the surge in cases brought about by the Delta variant. At the height of that surge, the country hit a high of about 22,000 cases in a day during the second week of September, according to the DOH website. Eventually, the country was able to weather that storm, and by December, we were all enjoying a Christmas that was as close to normal as what we'd experienced the last 2 years. January of 2022 greeted us with an explosion of cases, believed to have been primarily brought about by the Omicron variant, first discovered in South Africa, which was found to be exponentially more transmissible and fed off the many holiday gatherings held during the Christmas and New Year break. This resulted in Metro Manila being placed under Alert Level 3 as early as January 3, as cases surged, reaching a high of roughly 40,000 cases on January 10. Dozens of people we knew, families and whole households got infected, including many of the PW community. Thus, we declared a university health break from January 10 to 12, which was also then followed by a health break declared by the City of Manila, as well as many other LGUs, from January 14 to 21, just to give everyone a chance to recover and slow down the spread of cases. Through the efforts of MSDC, HRMO, the School of Pharmacy, and our admin office, we were able to give out PW health kits to most of our full-time and all of our part-timers who needed these health kits during a stretch when medicines and vitamins to protect against COVID were in short supply. Despite the somewhat roller coaster of quarantine and alert level classifications we've had to endure as a result of virus variants and surges in cases, the university has kept its focus on what matters to us as an educational institution: our students and the education we provide them, and the overall health, safety, and well-being of our people. Conscious of the economic toll this pandemic continues to exact on our students and their families, we have, to this day, held off on tuition fee increases, maintained discounts on certain miscellaneous fees, as well as kept installment fees at 50% of pre-pandemic levels. We have maintained our We Rise as One scholarship for eligible scholars to benefit from a PW education, and have even partnered with Bukas.ph, an education financing firm, to give our students even more options to help fund their education. Academically, the past year has been a year of remarkable academic achievements for the PW community. Despite being primarily online throughout the pandemic, both our students and faculty have continued to thrive in this flexible learning modality. In February of last year, our BS Social Work program produced a 100% passing rate in the Social Worker Licensure Board examination, with Jefferson Medrano finishing 7th overall. Then in July, it was the BS Pharmacy program's turn to achieve a 100% passing rate in the Pharmacist Licensure examination. At nearly the same time, our very own Heidi Bacani topped the July 2021 Nursing Licensure Board exam, besting more than 5,000 board exam passers. Our BS Nutrition and Dietetics program achieved the same 100% passing rate in the Nutritionist Dietitian Licensure examinations in October, followed again by our BS Nursing program garnering a 100% passing rate in November, proving that our faculty and graduates have what it takes to succeed despite the challenges of online learning. Congratulations to Ms. E. Valencia, Program Chair of the Philippine School of Social Work, Mr. Mark Harvey Adamson, Program Chair of Pharmacy, Dr. Minerva de Ala, Dean of Nursing, and Ms. Vanessa Ceballos Marasigan, Program Chair of Nutrition, and your respective teams for these achievements. Our academic successes are not only evidenced by our performance in the licensure board examinations. Our deans and program chairs, together with our guidance, counseling, and testing office, have continued to monitor the satisfaction of our students in terms of their professors and the student experience they have here at PWU. While we are continually looking at areas to improve on, we are happy to mention that in the student evaluations of our professors from the first trimester of this school year, most garnered either excellent or very satisfactory ratings. Nonetheless, these evaluations shall continually be monitored by our deans and program chairs. While the sentiments of our students are top of mind, we have also continued to seek certification of accreditation bodies, both PAASCO and PACUCOA, by subjecting our programs to continuous accreditation even in this virtual environment. After the successful accreditation of 10 of our graduate programs by PACUCOA last school year, 2021 saw us successfully undergo virtual accreditations by PAASCO for our basic education and senior high school programs for both PW JASMS Manila and Quezon City campuses. Congratulations to Basic Ed Executive Director Remedios Cruz, Principals Regina and Lori for your team success. Last December, our HCB School of International Relations and Diplomacy Philippine School of Social Work, and the School of Music also underwent virtual accreditations by PAASCU for our undergraduate programs. We are optimistic that these will also yield favorable results. Not stopping there, 2022 will see us undergo more virtual accreditations. This May, we are scheduled to have PACOCOA accreditations for hospitality management, food technology, entrepreneurial management, marketing management, and nutrition and dietetics. Then, in September, 9 more programs will undergo PAASCU accreditation, namely nursing, medical technology, visual communication, industrial design, painting, pharmacy, communication arts, psychology, and tourism management, as a relentless pursuit for quality education and regaining our autonomous status in the next few years gets a full head of steam. Credit goes to Dr. Yang and our deans and program chairs who have not only instilled this mindset of seeking continuous improvement through accreditation, but for actually leading the preparations for each and every one of these visits. Our being awarded among the top 3 for the best case study on the university before and after accreditation in the last PACOCOA General Assembly can only attest to the huge impact accreditation has had on the university. In addition, not only are we addressing our degree programs, but cognizant of the importance of continuing education outside of formal degrees, this 2022 we will start rolling out our short certificate programs that will cover a wide range of areas. These certificate courses to be rolled out by most of our schools shall be open to the general public as well as members of the PW community. The goal is that these certificate programs or micro-credentials can serve as excellent upskilling opportunities for career development and even be put together in combination with certain other certificate programs in order to complete a formal bachelor's or graduate degree in the future. Together with developing our own, we have also partnered with Sailor Academy in offering these certificate programs to our students, employees, and alumni. Moreover, even as we have been implementing flexible learning for the past 2 years, we recognize that for certain disciplines, face-to-face on-campus learning still provides a more in-depth and complete learning experience, particularly for skills-based laboratory, practicum, internship, and clinical courses. Thus, for the past few months, we have also been preparing for the eventual return of face-to-face classes. Just this February, we have successfully completed the requirements set forth by CHED and received the approval of the City of Manila to conduct limited face-to-face classes, particularly for nursing and medical technology. We are extremely happy to welcome back our medtech and nursing students for in-person classes. Congratulations to the committee led by Professor Sherwin Toriano and Dr. Minerva de Ala for this new milestone, and expect our other programs to begin rolling out their face-to-face classes by the 3rd trimester and the start of school year 2022-2023. Even as our academic units have been very busy reshaping the way we deliver education, our non-teaching units have also been continually improving the university's facilities to complement our delivery of education. To date, our admin team has undertaken the retrofitting, refurbishment, and repainting of 27 classrooms, 10 laboratories, and 9 other areas on campus for a total of 46 areas with more still ongoing, making sure they conform to the safety, health, and ventilation requirements of the new normal. We've also already completed the total roof replacement of Malvar Wing and the Taft Avenue inner building, and are now in the process of replacing the roof of the main Taft Avenue building. Simultaneously, we've continued to do plumbing and retrofitting of our water lines along the Malvar, Taft, and Leon Ginto wings, which have resulted in substantial cost savings these past 2 to 3 years. In the next month or so, we will also begin the much-awaited repainting of our main Taft Avenue campus, which we hope to complete in time for the beginning of the new school year in August. In partnership with Lenovo, we've implemented a major upgrade of our multimedia audio-visual studio, which includes a state-of-the-art media computer, peripherals, and wall-to-wall soundproofing. giving our multimedia team the capability to produce broadcast quality webinars and videos for our academic programs and social media platforms. Together with this, we are also in the process of developing a set of hybrid classrooms that will allow each program to conduct classes for students attending both on campus and online. Throughout the pandemic, as all of you are surely aware, we have prioritized the health and safety of our community by listening to science and our medical professionals. With our strict implementation of the health and safety protocols, through the efforts of our medical and security personnel, we have been fortunate to prevent any major outbreak of cases on our campuses. By taking a more cautious approach to flexible work arrangements, focusing on deliverables and productivity rather than the number of hours worked, we have managed to keep our operations running smoothly despite maintaining a skeletal workforce on site for the past 2 years. This time last year, the country's vaccination drive had yet to start. Just a year later, through consistent encouragement and with the cooperation of the members of our community to get vaccinated and boosted as soon as they were eligible, and by adhering to the guidelines imposed by the IATF and the local government units, we are proud to say that 94% of all full-time and 86% of all employees are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Confident that majority of our community, both employees and students, are protected against severe infection, hospitalization, and death, despite the possibility of future variants, we are preparing for what our mode of teaching, learning, and work will look like in this next normal. In the recent Return to Work survey conducted by HRMO, 78% of our 187 respondents indicated that they are at least somewhat comfortable working from home. The top 3 challenges identified were the increase in internet and electricity expenses, the slow or poor internet connection, and the longer working hours. Meanwhile, with respect to coming back to on-campus work, the majority, or 62%, saw themselves coming in at least 2 to 3 days a week, with their top 3 concerns being getting exposed while commuting, exposure while in the office, and transportation expenses. As a result of this, HRMO has prepared a gradual return to work plan that takes into consideration these challenges and sentiments of our community and tries to balance them with the need to bring back the dynamism and collaboration we've so missed from on-campus work. Thank you to the Director Cheryl Zantua and her team for preparing this. They'll be rolling out the details in the coming weeks. We are confident that this new normal working environment will allow us to maximize collaboration, productivity, the use of technology, and work-life balance while mitigating the risk of future infections and optimizing our use of institutional resources. In a recent review of our vision, mission, and values by our management committee and academic administrators and ratified by our Board of Trustees, affirmed and further concretized our foundational principles. Our vision was refined and re-articulated to be a leading university recognized for its excellence in teaching and research, delivering transformative, inclusive, and affordable education. Our mission, recontextualized and concretized as PW is a leading educational institution in the Philippines, committed to improving lives through transformative and inclusive education that treasures excellence, spirituality, family values, heritage, community service, and citizenship. In fulfillment of our mission and aware of our vision, we remain committed to upholding and instilling our institutional core values on the members of the community, most especially our learners. These values have been integral to our DNA as a university and will now continually be articulated and infused in most everything that we do. In no particular order, these are academic excellence, or our continuous pursuit of quality, innovation, relevance, and job demand practicality. Personal integrity, or our commitment to pursue probity by upholding respect, trust, and decency at all times. Diversity, or the openness to multicultural learning, growth, and development opportunities. Service, or our promise to deliver excellent service while caring for all stakeholders, both within and outside of the organization. And last but not the least, Commitment, for the value of taking responsibility and accountability for all of our undertakings. Our administration will zero in on three priority areas. First and foremost is the continuous improvement of our quality of education. Concretely, this will be measured by our commitment to improving the levels of accreditation of most, if not all, of our programs. Further, this will be evidenced by the number and quality of our research. Already, Dr. Leo and the RDO have raised the standard, putting out 4 new publications and nearly doubling the number of research articles produced, from 18 in 2019 and 2020 to 34 since assuming the research directorship role in 2020. The quality and relevance to the public of our certificate programs, whether these will draw alumni, mid-career professionals, or individuals in general looking to upgrade their knowledge, will also be another measure of the quality of education we provide. Last but definitely not the least is the employability of our graduates. Through our Career Placement Office and with the support of each of our programs, we will collaborate with our industry partners and revisit our curricula to align these to the needs of their respective industries. We want to ensure that our graduates are equipped with the competencies required by their field for them to be able to find suitable employment soon after graduation. Secondly, this pandemic has shown us how critical the use of technology has been, not only for our survival, but our growth as an enterprise. Practically everything that we do, all processes and interactions, whether it is online enrollment and payment, participation in both synchronous and asynchronous classes, attending meetings and webinars, consulting with professors, counseling with GCTO, borrowing books from the library, and even simply accomplishing the daily health declaration form, rely on some form of digital technology. As a 103-year-old institution, we must continue to maximize the use of technology and the digitization of our university processes to remain relevant, competitive, and cater to this new generation of learners. For this, we thank the leadership and support of our ICT department, IT program, and the learning delivery and technology integration teams. Thirdly, we would not be where we are today, despite the challenges of the pandemic, without our community of stakeholders, students, faculty, non-teaching personnel, administrators, and parents continue to believe in the mission and values the university stands for. Thus, we need to continue pursuing the holistic development of all segments of our community. The core values of the university, integrity, excellence, diversity and inclusivity, commitment, and love for cultural heritage and family values have to continue to be instilled in our students in each one of our courses, along with 21st century skills such as critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and effective communication. At the same time, we as administrators, professors, and non-teaching members of the community must be models of these values and continue learning these skills, as we cannot give what we do not have. Then, in more practical terms, maximizing our human capital also means making our people feel suitably compensated for their time, effort, and dedication. Even with the limited resources that we have, we still need to find creative ways to show our stakeholders that their work and their time are valued commensurately. We've started doing this in various departments, and we are in the process of establishing a system for regular evaluations and hopefully regular adjustments as our resources allow. The world has changed tremendously over the past 2 years. Almost every industry, nearly every aspect of our lives, from the way we work, the way we teach and learn, the way we interact with our colleagues, friends, and family has changed as a result of this pandemic. Some for the better, some we are still looking for the silver lining. At the end of the day, however, as an educational institution, we have to go back to our students. Are we not just teaching them skills that will aid them in their professional lives, but also forming them into individuals who are willing to change, open to different perspectives, and constantly striving to improve? The past 2 years of the pandemic have taught us many things, but allow me to focus on 3 critical values, which I feel are integral to how we've managed to survive and even thrive in this environment. The first is the mindset of continuous improvement. There will always be a need to improve ourselves, to upskill, whether it is from a technical standpoint or a personal one. We saw that firsthand. And I commend our teachers and employees for learning to teach and work in this virtual environment. Admittedly, we've made mistakes and had stumbles along the way. Many of our processes are still works in progress, but this is why the mindset is so important. In the face of a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, where we have tried to reinvent many things, this mindset teaches us to see mistakes and challenges not as failures, but rather as new opportunities to do better. The second value is the importance of collaboration. Not one single person can say that the success of the institution or organization is a result of his or her actions alone. The university's pandemic response, the way we have adjusted to online learning, the events and webinars we conduct, and even this convocation itself are products of collaborative efforts of individuals, each of whose roles is equally important as the next one. This has been and continues to be a whole of university response. Thus, are we teaching our learners the value of collaboration, of learning to listen to and work with different perspectives, and being responsible enough to add value to the group? The third value is that of resilience. Just as we thought we were on our way to a new normal last December, we were again besieged by a new variant, Omicron. The past 2 years have been tests of resilience, one after the other, for every member of the PWU family. Thus, are we teaching our students as early as basic education to be more resilient? Regardless of whether this is the last pandemic we will face in our lifetime, this will certainly not be the last crisis we as individuals will face. Like this institution which has gone through countless challenges, may we impart in our learners the ability to persevere through adversity and have gratitude for little victories that add up to a lifetime of success and resilience. Let me end once again with gratitude for the different units that make up the PWU family, living examples of resilience throughout this pandemic. Thank you to our nurses, MSDC staff and doctors, our security, maintenance, and admin personnel who are our everyday heroes, ensuring the safety and health of our people and the maintenance and improvement of our facilities. Thank you to our Registrar's Office, Finance, HRMO, Library, Guidance and Testing, ICT and Multimedia, Marketing, Admissions, Campus Life, Alumni, Admin Assistants, and all of our non-teaching personnel who have allowed our operations to continue running, whether working on campus or at home. We have gone through a lot of adjustments to adapt to this virtual environment, and we continue to look for ways to improve and make the experience better for our students. Thank you for your adaptability and perseverance. We would, of course, like to thank our faculty, from basic education all the way to our graduate programs. Our elementary and high school teachers have made this remote online learning productive and enjoyable for our students, especially when the experiential learning we value so much at JASMS has been delivered primarily through a computer screen all these months. Our college and graduate school faculty have also done their best to ensure that not only do our students acquire the competencies required by each course, but that they still learn to think critically, inquire independently, and develop student agency, apart from the values PW has been known to teach our students. We also thank our deans, program chairs, and all our administrators, including our management committee and board of trustees, for their leadership, accountability, commitment to our educational mission, and for doing their best to uphold the PW culture across their teams and spheres of influence. In an environment where physical interaction has been limited, and we have to be quite deliberate with our encounters with our colleagues, each interaction becomes more important to relationship building and the attainment of our goals. Thank you for trusting and empowering your people to do their best for the university. Finally, We thank the Almighty for the blessings and protection He continues to bestow on us and our students. A lot of uncertainty still remains, but as a faith community, we trust that we are headed in the right direction and there are no obstacles that hard work, integrity, and a collaborative and entrepreneurial spirit cannot overcome. As this will be the last convocation before we take part in choosing our country's next set of leaders this May, it behooves me to remind our community that our institution's founders fought for women's suffrage and that the right to vote must be held as a sacred trust. We call on everyone to exercise their civic responsibility with care, educate ourselves about the issues and concerns that confront our country today, and take thoughtful consideration of each candidate's character, platform, and track record before making our choice. Let us continue to reject disinformation and peddlers of fake news, and be more critical of the information sources we will base our decisions on. Let us choose based on facts, reason, and truth, and vote for leaders who will faithfully give voice to our aspirations and hopes for our country's future. And let us continue to pray for clean, honest, and peaceful elections this May. Thank you very much, and may you all continue to stay safe and healthy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard the President's Convocation that has highlighted the accomplishments and our way forward for the next years to come in the context of PWU's vision and mission. Before we move to another part of the program, may I invite you all to please evaluate our occasion today. The QR code has been flashed on the screen, and our technical team has also posted the actual link on the comments section of Facebook and YouTube. To formally close our ceremonies today, please join me in welcoming Dr. Leo Monalin, Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences, Director for Research and Development, and Chairperson for this year's President's Convocation for his closing remarks.
We have just heard the 2022 President's Convocation delivered by Mr. Marco Alfredo Moya Benitez, the 10th President of the Philippine Women's University. From the University President's reports of accomplishments and our future routes, it is clear that we are on the right track. The overall discourse of the report chimes in PWU's declared mission and vision, particularly in our mantra to serve God, country, and home. Mr. President's report has manifested that PWU continues to uphold the shared values and understanding that are particularly critical in furthering the shaping and reshaping of a collective future that reflects common objectives and values. While the varied roles on our shoulders are rather heavy, they have become light because we have worked as one. There is an obvious melding of minds, hearts, and talents pervading in our polycentric system that will propel us closer to our ideal future and will lead us to greater heights. With teammates like you walking alongside our president, we can snugly overcome any odds that will come along our way. PWU, as a metonymic term for each of the stakeholders, has also a shared view on how we will continue to mitigate the social problems that will constantly affect the educational landscape. We are not powerless in the face of these problems. I would like to thank the working committees for helping me with this chairmanship. I am a patriot. We are indeed patriots.
united community.
We may not be blood related,
But we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
It drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
but we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
As we bring our program to a satisfying close, let us sing the PWU hymn. This has been Mark Harvey Adamson, Proud Patriot.